This is a 1 versus 1 map. It is a random map, so not one that anybody's seen before. Good old map gen. And it is going to go down on some two very skilled guys. You may know them. You may have seen their names out a few times. It is Morex and Silent Noob. Alright, so let's just quickly do that and have a look at our players. Silent Noob over here in the blue corner has gone Cybran. He's got a factory going down for adjacency beside the Hydro, 4 mixes around. And his opponent today in the red corner, it is Morex, and he's doing exactly the same thing. Factory beside the Hydro, 4 mixes around. So we're going to see very standard builds, I think, coming out of these guys. They're going to hit the factory, do the 4 mixes with the commander, and then walk over and assist the engineer to finish off the Hydro. Nothing too strange about that kind of opening. Couple of deposits of mass, you know, towards each side. Overall, though, the total reclaim on the map is very low. There's only 4,500 on a 20 by 20 kilometer map. So this map is huge. This is set in sized, just for reference. 1 versus 1 on a set in sized map with only 4.5k reclaim to be had. And there we go. 1, 2, 3. Has to walk a little bit to get to that mix. Let's see if the same happens over here. Maybe not. Seems to have got that there. And then we're looking at factories galore. So Silent Noob's walking over this way. He's going to grab himself. Let's see, that is going to be his assistant to NG, who is moving on to. I can't see the build order. Yes, I can do this. So a bunch of pigeons in the air factory, some more pigeons, a couple of land factories, and more pigeons, because pigeons make the world go round. So Silent Noob's going for a second to air. I imagine we will probably see the same over this direction. Yes, indeedy. Very same builds. We have factory, 4 pigeons, air factory. So for those who are looking at, you know, what kind of starting build can I do? This is apparently the kind of starting build you can do. You can grab yourself, and nothing but engines coming out of this factory. You can grab yourself the 4 mixers, the Hydro, then 4 pigeons, then into the air factory. I don't know if he is surviving a little bit of reclaim there. Just grabbing a touch of energy just to top himself up, because if you have a look, but look how balanced that is. He's got this factory producing, and he's got his commander with 2 engineers building the factory, and with a little bit of reclaim from engineers around the place, he completes that well and fine. So there's a new build order for you folks if you're hoping to get one. Land factory, 4 mixers, Hydro, 4 pigeons, air factory, and it works. Evidence being on exactly what these guys have done. Of course, reclaim at the start will help very much. Aside from that, they're going expansionistic. Engineers are going out left, right, and center. We have a small raiding party coming in from Morax, but they're going to take a very long time to walk across the other side of the map. Look, it's going to take them 2 minutes to get over to where he's sending them. 3 minutes even to get all the way to the other side, and that's going to be plenty of time for a Silent Noob to spot them coming with a scout. That's a scout. It's going really slowly over that map. So yeah, I mean, if it works, it works, and he'll be able to. He's trying to sneak these guys around the edge. If they can get to the back early before they're detected, then they could pick up an engineer, which will deny an expansion, which will cost Silent Noob time, and time is very, very important with expanding engineers. You lose one of those guys, you got to get another one out there, and of course they're very slow, almost as slow as a commander. I think the commander is still the slowest unit in the game. Everything works faster than the commander. Here we go. We've got a bit of a air fight going on. When I say a bit of an air fight, it is one conservator has caught up on the back of a prowler, and that is all she wrote on that side of things. Here comes the first bomber. It is Morax. He's got first bomber out, and he's going to be hunting for targets, sending it around the edge, most likely off into the distant ocean, and then he's going to look to perhaps swing up here and kill an engineer or two if he can stop the expansion, just to slow things down again. That's all he needs to do to make life problematic for Silent Noob. Now, Navy might not feature as much on this map as we think. Even though there's tons and tons of water, neither of these factions have the cruisers with attack missiles, so to get full effect from Navy they would need to get to T3, and it's a lot of resources to go into T3. Arguably the Sovereign player could get some Salems and come and walk on the land. It is very flat, like very, very flat, but that is the question of what's going to go down already. So first little raiding units have come down this way, and a flare is going to have a bad time running into a Mantis if the Mantis can hit it. Here we go, there's a few shots on, not enough to kill it, as the second Mantis has been diverted for the intercept though, and the flare is not going to get much more done from that front. Alrighty, flare down, and there was another one up here. Yes it is. I think that's been picked up as well though. This Mantis has been redirected to say g'day, and no joy for that guy. Not even going to get an NG. Just going to get some shots to the face from a Mantis. But the bombers on the other hand, they might have more success. You've got one loitering down here on the ground just waiting, but there is a defending interceptor in the region as well. The other bomber, however, is ready to go for something. Does Morax have a target, or is it just kind of flying over? Just kind of flying over, maybe. Okay, more raiding going on. We've got a Mantis versus Aurora down there. That usually goes worse for the Aurora, except the Mantis is not paying attention. Here we go. So this is the problem. If this bomber kills off this NG, that's going to stop the production of those 3 mass extractors. Sorry, the construction of those mass extractors. And it's going to take a long time, like, I don't know, a minute or two, to get another engineer out there to actually have an effect and get the eco. So that's going to put him behind on the eco. So it's not really, at this stage, it's not really about killing the engineer. It's about preventing that eco from being built and putting him a wee bit behind on that. So that NG has him spotted. That bomber's going for a drop. This bomber is coming around for this engineer, who's undoubtedly been spotted by the scout. And there we go. So NG up there is dead, and this bomber can now just, if it wants to, pick off those mixers. It's got all the time in the world right now. And yes indeed, this bomber here has killed off that engineer, and is going to go for another one over this direction. This NG has been spotted. The question is, no, it hasn't been spotted actually. I'll take that back. Now it has though. We should see a swing back. Once again, focus on the engineer, deny the time. This direction, a bomber has come up suspecting something has gotten through, but no, nothing's gotten through. It's just a bomber. Nothing for you to actually attack. And we're going to see this mass extractor go down. We need an interceptor from somewhere. A couple of inties sitting idle there, and Silent Noob needs to get those on the way. So some effective T1 bomber strats from Morax, really just harassing the edge areas, and that is going to take its toll. It doesn't seem like much. You think, oh, it's just some T1 mixes, but without those T1 mixes, it just takes that a little bit longer to upgrade the core mixes, because you know, that is 6 income, right? 6 eco right there. That is not. He's actually still ahead on mass income. I do. He's doing alright for himself, but yeah, he's going to lose another couple of this one when that pops. And this bomber is still around. It can still go for other things. There we go. Navy, though, is in the play for Silent Noob. He's gotten into the water nice and early, because he kind of has to due to hover. So well placed couple of Mantis there have denied some Auroras coming on in. That would be quite frustrating. The hover from the Aeon player would be most irritating. Over this direction, Engineer has finally come out to grab these 3 mixes, but there are a couple of bombers inbound which could take care of them nice and easy. Right, up front, Morax does have his commander here. Not upgraded, just been wandering around killing off a few units. He's killed 3 to be precise. And it is really just a bit of a face-off in the middle. T1 units around the place. We do have a gun upgrade going down for Silent Noob, so he wants to get his commander into that. Have himself a bit of fun. And over this direction, here we go. Retaliation. You bomb my NGs, I'll bomb yours. There is a defending interceptor in the area, which is currently sitting on the ground. Not for long though. Bomber flies that close, it generally takes off and goes for it. Besides, the bomber's not worth it. Hey, that's a shame. This one may want to have care in which direction it spins. It's going to spin the wrong way though. And now the India gets off the ground and says hello. Okay, this bomber here sneaking off towards the back. We have a drop. So Morax is a transport with just combat units, no engineers. Full on combat, just looks like he's going to try and sneak it around the back there and maybe cause some problems over this direction. Other bomber gets shot down here, didn't get any other work done. Maybe he was thinking to sneak it down this way and kill off that. But radar all around for Morax. He wants to keep coverage and see as much as possible. Scouting overhead, ideal. Right, we have a big old fight brewing in the middle. Plenty of units having to go at each other. Got the T1 Mantis here rocking into a firing line of Auroras. If they can kite away, they'll be very, very happy. They need to stay out of range, but they fall back. They're not going to be protecting these engineers or these factories. And that's going to be build power that Morax can ill afford to lose on the front. These are great for reinforcements. They can come out nice and quick. And Silent Noob thinks maybe he'll fall back on that. Maybe just a little bit too much. He does have radar. He has one radar within the mix. He has a radar back here which could possibly be considered go T2 to get some more coverage on that front. But he has power issues, or rather had power issues. I think he's... okay, yep. He's just finished off a bunch of T1 PGs just to get that power back, which he was very much stalling. And there's the drop. So the Auroras have made landfall, and there was an engineer here, not anymore. And also the mass extractors are going down as well. And now there's not much to stop these guys. There's 5 Auroras and they can just go for a wander around the place, picking off mixes as they choose. Whether Silent Noob has noticed them or not, I do not know, but he does have T2 air and he's working on his first T2 power generator. Let's have a check on tech for Silent Noob, who has claimed most of the map, if you call that most, which... say yes, he's got these 3 mixes built where Silent Noob does not have these ones, so he's definitely ahead in the territory control. Checking up on the tech side of things, he also has T2 air and rocking out some inties from there, and looks like some gunships planned as well. Already has a T2 PG enough, but no land tech that I can see. That's all T1 in the base. I'm hearing, that's what I'm hearing. I guess having to go out of transport. Transport going to get away? Just 56 health. Alright, those Auroras have been discovered. Some Mantas are coming over for the defense. Should be enough to clear those out. These 2 guys, though, they can go for a wander somewhere else. Be nice and distracting, just as an annoyance. Okay. On the bottom section, no navy for Silent Noob. He's put himself into the top pond, and Morax, on the other hand, has thrown himself into the bottom pond. And he's just popping out some units. Down this direction, a frigate off the coast is going to start bombarding things. Gets a wee bit close to Mantis, is going to start taking fire. But it should be fine. It's got a couple thousand hit points and it can always just move back out of range. Engineers coming out trying to make some factories. They're not going to have a great time because that frigate's just going to say no to those guys. Volleys, and those are done. Where did those gunships go? There they are. So the gunships from Morax are... oh, they're gathering in the middle. So I think he's trying to spot this. Worried that Silent Noob might go stealth. I mean, he is a Cyber Commander. He could go stealth quite easily. Morax has grabbed the sensor upgrade, which gives him a very wide field of Omni view. So this is Omni. Nothing hides under that, and it's got good range of that. You can see everything coming in. And this is Silent Noob, whose commander is quite far forward. And there's actually quite a lot of spam in front of him. He needs to be careful of. And here we go. Morax, he's gone away from the gun upgrade and he's switched up to T2. So sensor plus T2. He's not going to use his commander for any direct combat. He's going to use it for building some defenses instead. Get some tech on the front, some very protected tech. That's not going to go down easy. And here we go. This is going to be a problem for Silent Noob. He maybe wants to rethink that push. There's a lot of units coming his way and his commander doesn't have any ranks of veterans yet. There's a group of units over this way and needs to get out of range of that PD, but also wants to try and keep those radar 5 radars in a row. Yep, okay mate, that's an interesting choice. And here come the Spectres. So Morax has been tidying up the air. He's got all his indies up there, and now the Spectres have come in for the comm, but let's be honest, the water's far too close for that. It's not going to work. And he does have a decent amount of anti-air in his land units. There's a whole bunch of Sky Slammers down there. They have done a reasonable job of shooting the Spectres away, although now without the commander assisting in that frontal battle, Silent Noob finds his forces massively overwhelmed on the ground, especially with the addition of those gunships going to town. But a couple are getting shot down. There we go. We've got a couple of interceptors behind, and of course the Sky Slammers having to go as well. T2 Engineer trying to throw up black. That's not going to last. As soon as these guys get in range, it's going to be very much dead factoring time. Silent Noob gets his con back out of the water. Maybe wants to come over and try and help. But at least the gunship threat is gone for the moment. There's still a couple loitering around, but they're not going to be able to do much. Maybe they can go for a wander and pick off some of the mass extractors around the outsides. See how it goes. Into the net. Did that engineer survive? Did the frigate actually move out of range before seeing the engineer? Well, I'm disappointed. But speaking of frigates, Silent Noob has a bunch on the top, and maybe, since he owns that ocean, he might want to consider going T2 on one of these factories. Absolutely owns it. Got some flak down here. That's going to be very good for getting rid of clumps of aircraft like Inties in a bunch, or gunships which seem to go down. Silent Noob down here with his commander coming out of the water. Maybe wants to think about going back on in. I think he just wants to pull off a few units and stop them trying being all naughty. Frigates coming in though, and he definitely cannot stay on land. Under 4,000 health. Don't see any torpedo bombers. He'll be fine there. And look at this, the reclaim starts straight away. Let's put on some units. Nope, he's going to keep walking. Okay. Okay. Into the bottom water. A couple of factories up there, and they can start doing something if they like. There's only the one factory. Morax still for Navy. He's not going much into Navy at all. And you've got to wonder if that eco is telling. There we go, T2 upgrade back here for Silent Noob. He's had to reinforce his position. It's been killed off twice. And it's still vulnerable to a single bomber. One bomber can take out all of that if it is not interfered with. Okay, let's have a look at the mass extractors. Let's see what we're dealing with. Okay, Silent Noob killing off some frigates with his comm. He does have T2 on the ground. That is a hoplite. Well, we saw the flag before, so we should know that already. There is tech on the ground for Morax? No, there's not. He's got T3 air though. T3 air factory, and there is T2 land, but it's not producing. I do wonder if maybe he's going to skip the T2 base. He's working on some power at the moment. Is he absolutely stalling? Oh no, he's not. He's fine. He just needs more of it. Let's just check his production though. We have 38 T1 mixes and 6 T2. Yet. Yes, 6 T2 mixes and 38 T1. I'm going to compare that to our Silent Noob over here, who has 30 T1 mixes, but 8 T2 and not seeing any T3 at the moment. So he's ahead with T2 mixes. He's got a couple extra, but Morax has more mixes overall, which is definitely helping his cause. Alright, gunship Renegade is coming out though. Some T2 air of Silent Noob's own is going to maybe do some raiding, see if we can pick off a mix or few at the edge there. We'll see how that goes for him. In the meantime, he's having a fight in the middle. Rocket bots are wandering into range of all of this, which is a terrible idea. You don't want to let those things get close because they will get decimated. Rhinos, much more tanky, and they can knock off Auroras happily all day, every day, as long as they get in range. Got to be careful of Obsidians though. Very tanky, and they have a massive alpha hit. Crunch. Lots of damage pops off of that guy. Shield is down though, and is that a energy store? No? Odd. But look at this, this is a sizable army up the front. Morax is making great strides on the ground. He's claimed a lot of territory, and he's got a lot to push with. And what does Silent Noob have to defend? Well, he's got his commander. He has still just the T2 HQ for lands, T2 HQ for air. Does he have any idea? Well, he should do. He's scouted that HQ and he knows it's going to be T3 by now. And there we go, we saw the Renegade doing this thing down there. It's taken out a few of the edge mixes because it can. In a grand old time, reducing Morax's eco, who is now ahead in the mass number. Still very close. Okay, never mind. It's even now. 109 to 109. These guys are very close. Very even in their adjustments. Factories here are under threat now. Rickets have come on over. There's a few subs in the water, and they're going to take out this thing eventually. If they're paying attention, otherwise they might get killed off by a single sylph if they continue to target focus that frigate down. Although that sylph gets in range, I imagine they'll turn around and prioritize it. There we go, the kill order has been given, and we should see the sylph die off and these guys be okay. And sylph is down, so they are free to finish off these frigates who... Oh, they're just going to finish off the factories. That close. Some very good timing on that front. Okay. Renegade, having fun still. Trying to take out a T2 mass extractor. Not going to work when there's inties around. They have come off the belt. And hello, Strat. Morax has a first Strat out of his factory. He's getting some support for it now, but he has the T3 air advantage because... Nope, Silent Noob is still on T2. He's going to want to change that promptly. In the middle, this has been now a pushback. Yes, it is. There's enough T2 units here from Silent Noob. He is starting to get some movement back down the causeway. He needs to pick up these engines that are getting some reclaim because you don't want your opponent to get all of that. But he has pushback what is mostly a T1 force per Strat comes over. Goes for the units at the front, dropping a bomb and killing off 7 of those guys. And now they are being chased by a swarm of interceptors from Silent Noob. Now the problem with that is the Strat is much faster. And if they get caught dragged over anything, and a second Strat out from Morax, so he's very comfortable in the air at the moment, absolutely bossing it. Though the Strat does turn back, doesn't want to fly over something, I don't know what. Oh, Strat Bomber took a few shots there. That's a lot of inties chasing it, but you can see it's faster. There's nothing to fear from interceptors, although down here Renegades are still doing their thing. Going for some mass extractors. There's a T2 mass extractor there. Yippee, you might as well go for that. He says nothing they haven't doing there. ASFs decide, no, we're going to keep that alive. They're going to knock that off. Strat Bomber still at the top, still being chased by engineers. Big, long, sweeping turn means they cannot catch up to it. Where has the other one gone? I wonder. I cannot see it. There it is. Right up here, killing off units because, well, Morax does not have anything on his commander there. And Rhinos are shooting at... I actually don't know what they're shooting at. They should shoot at the food generator. Great idea, but they're doing nothing there. Okay, Strat comes back. Friendly fire! Destroys its own freaking shield gen. Well done, mate. Well done. Being a Strat is only a Strat Bomb again. This one up here is still kiting a whole swarm of inties. ASFs were coming along to join the party, but no, not so much anymore. They're kind of hovering around, and the inties have returned to base. No point having them chase the Strat halfway across the map. And speaking of chasing things, Strat Bomb's going to have a go at nothing, just flying on past. Maybe they're going to go around 4 Strats now. Morax has 4 Strat Bombs in the air, and there we go. Silent Noob is into the T3 air stage, but he doesn't have the power to run it, I don't think. No, he doesn't. He's only got 2.5k. Look at that. His energy is not enough to run that, and he's going to want to do, well, more than that. T2 Pigeon's only going to let him survive for a little bit. There's T3 planned on there, another T2 Pigeon planned there. He's about to run. There we go. He's now stalling on power, and that's not a great place to be, especially when Strats are coming in where your commander is. Or Strats, they've ignored the commander though. Overshot straight overhead. Are they trying to find a target? They don't seem to be dropping their bombs, and now they're getting picked off by bouncers and the... Oh dear. Morax had 4 Strat Bombers. He could have used them. He could have potentially ended Silent Noob right there and then. I wonder if he had the intel of where the commander was, but that I feel like is a completely missed opportunity. He had 4 Strat Bombers. He had a bunch of ASFs compared to the 0 that Silent Noob had, although he was expecting something coming in and has thrown up some bouncers, and the bouncers have been what has basically kept him alive. They have managed to take the Strats out of the sky. How many did they kill? 2 of them. Morax has pulled the rest back. Now working on his T3 power, Silent Noob, he wants to get that up and running. He needs to get that up and running. Use the hiccups, just the right there. T1, T2 PD right behind it, and units pushing on up, going to have a bad time trying to go into that. Plus there's some Navy, T2IC, that is definitely a cruiser. Dropping his firepower on there as well. Admittedly, maybe not much compared to what's on the ground, especially with some rhinos coming on in, but that is going to be a hold, and this Cerberus turret lives. 200 health, couple of kills. Good luck to that guy. Okay, in the middle, Morak's still there with his commander. He's just kind of chilling, doing not much. He's got a flank behind him. T2 shield was building another T2 PD there, but he's relying on units for the moment. And look at this, cheeky engineers all the way up the front, looking to grab this reclaim. Does not want to let it go into his opponent's hands. All the way up here. Look at them all. Leading the charge with engineers. They will die, of course, but they're still very, very cheeky. Very cheeky. Reclaiming an aircraft. Yep, sure, that's going to go down well. And with the units, there we go, some loyalists. So T3 land. We know Silent Noob has, is Morak's got the same? Yes, he does. There we go, T3 land there with the Harbingers coming out. So both are in the land stage. And what is going on here? The factories are down. There's another factory back here. The subs are all the way up here. Maybe they want to go this direction and kill off the factories, who knows. There's a renegade sitting on the ground, just chilling, minding its own business. And it's not going to be minding its own business for long because a couple of ASFs are flying overhead. And they're going to say hello, goodbye. If they can hurt. They just can't hit from that angle. Swing back around for another run. There we go. It could have been doing work, that renegade. It could have been killing stuff, but no. Sitting on the ground having fun. Okay, T3 engineer trying to build a T3 mass extractor. Could be under threat if there's some T2 navy coming in, which there is not. So interesting choice. Silent Noob is very much hemmed back here though. Though now he's got a bunch of loyalists out and they're going to be able to wreck face of any of T2. Do need to be cautious of the obsidians. They are still a wee bit nasty. Morak's moving forwards with his commander all by himself. Don't know about the wiseness of that idea. I presume he sees this and I think maybe he just wants the radar, just wants the visual range with his commander. And Silent Noob has no idea that that's a commander sitting there. If he did, I feel like he would probably rush with those. A bunch of T3 onto a commander, even if it's... Whoop, there goes a cruiser. Killed by Strat. Even if it's loyalists, there's still going to be a lot of firepower for an unupgraded commander to try and deal with. Oh, this is bad. But really that short range, or did he just not have radar? I think he just didn't have radar. No, he didn't, so he couldn't actually see the units right there. Now he can, and now we can start carving them up. 10 loyalists against all of this. Not great for all of this, to be honest. Especially as there's also some navy going on over. Loyalists doing some duck and dodging. We're even going to lose one of them, but they have killed so much of all this. It is simply not an even fight anymore. And they're going to have to fall back in the face of that problem. In the middle, engineers saying hello to engineers. And engineers are going to win with the reclaim. Emphasized by Isabrik. Okay, cruiser is getting mobbed by torp bombers. And a Strat going to get some enough shots on the Strat. No, survives 600 health on that guy. And regen is real. Alright, these submarines are now moving up this way. Perhaps they can convince these factories that they don't need to exist. They can see what they can do, and that's exactly what they're going for. It's going to take them a while, and the question is if they'll be noticed or not. Who knows? We'll find out. Torpedo bomber very nearby, but staging. Just going to go sit on the ground. Yeah, so not really been noticed. Frigates up here getting overwhelmed by some Auroras and some torp bombers, so that's taking out the top ones. And Navy is now a problem. Well, it looks like the loyalists were determined to try and get past, tried to do a push through. Or were they just being a distraction because sniper bots? These things are now loitering around and they're going to be able to cause some problems. Some more loyalists coming up this way. They're rocking right up under here. Moving on to focus on the shield. Kill the radar. Kill the shield. Shield is down. And that is very much handy for the bricks that are coming their way. Strat bomber doing its thing once again. Friendly fire is off all of that. Alright, it's brick time. There's more brick time. Nope, these are loyalists. These bricks, where are they going? Well, they're going for a wander. Loyalists getting picked off by this Strat bomber. 15 kills to his name. Unhealthy, but 15 kills to his name. And there we go. The subs have been killed by a torpedo bomber, I presume. I don't see anything else that might have gotten them. They are all dead. Alright, Frigates over here eating a complete face full of torpedoes from a large number of those guys. There is a naval factory up this direction. Frigates are going to decide to calm that down, kill off the engineers, stop more production being built. And now they can go for the factory itself and slow that down. T2 on the way for Silent Noob. He's had enough of the shooting and he's going to go for the building. But this is something to be a wee bit concerned about. We have the sniper boss coming under shields with some harbingers in front to be cautious. Brick over this direction is going to have a bad time. He's getting absolutely mobbed. Got a few blazers, got a harbinger, got a strap bomber overhead, and that's all she wrote. 16 kills for that guy now. The time was like bricks in the water. Sneaking through, and the question is how much damage can they do? And 2 ASFs. Nope, they changed their mind. I thought they were going to chase down that strat, but they would never have made it too close to this ASF swarm belonging to Morax. They would very much die a horrible, horrible death. Okay, a swarm of torpedo bombers. They're going for something. Maybe they're going to try and find the HQ over this way. Tons of engineers. The cruisers are the way to go for Silent Noob in the water. He managed to get himself back into the T2 game in the other bond. There's a factory here popping out more cruisers, and there is some T1 around though, so might not be theoretically all that problematic, but this will be. Yes, that cruiser is brought back. Oh, there we go, it is, and it's going to start hitting. Well, I say hitting, this is one of the things with the Cybran cruisers. We've got some direct fire weaponry and some, I'm just going to shoot in that general area weaponry as well. It's quite amusing actually. Like their range of well, their firepower. The cruiser loitering around the back here. I wonder if it's just protecting in case of more drops. Speaking of drops, that's a couple of loyalists on a Dragonfly. Does Morax have full radar coverage? No, he does not. He barely has land coverage. Silent Noob has even less. Does have, no, that's T2 radar. Not T3, so T3 radar would be really handy for these guys. They would see a heck of a lot more, and Silent Noob should be concerned about this a lot though. There's a ton of obsidians, a handful of harbingers, and then we also have a few sniper boss scattered in. That's going to be problematic. They can cause some good damage whilst they move closer in. A couple of bricks with some loyalists there, nowhere near enough to fend off all of this. So Silent Noob needs to think about that. Here we go. Bricks have made landfall, and they can now start doing. I can start doing what bricks do. We're just killing stuff. All right, down this direction. I heard. Yes, I did. T2 Navy. So Morax has grabbed a destroyer out of something. That one there, and that is now going to start bombarding the coastal areas. Not great for the Navy, and bricks are now being bombarded by some Spectres coming overhead. T2 Air is going to take a while to finish them off, but they can, they'll get there. If the bricks can move up, get up here though, they can carve a whole lot of damage. Plenty of build power just waiting to die, but there are more and more Spectres coming out all the time, and it's not going to be long before their power becomes quite something hard to deal with for these guys to do. And here we go. Bricks take notice of build power, and look at the build power die. I mean, they are T3 units, they're rapid fire, and these engines are just going to have a terrible time of it. One brick left now though, the Spectres are doing their thing, but more drops. Got another brick and a bouncer over here, as well as a single brick over this way. Is that just the brick? Yes it is. Right, this guy is going to die a very horrible death very shortly, trying to kill off the T3 power, and that is going to be something that Morax definitely doesn't want to lose. He has got another one here though, and another reactor going up there, so he won't be too bad should that happen. This direction, more bricks, sorry, a loyalist and a brick. Where did the anti-air go? Oh, it got airdropped. So, ballsy, Silent Noob brings his transport with a brick and an anti-air unit up this way, and the bouncer is getting to work on these gunships. In the meantime though, over this direction, this massive force pushing on in. Those sniper bots having to go, having to retreat though. There's been enough loyalists and bricks to make those guys rethink their decision. Upgrade going down on Silent Noob. I don't know what he's getting at this stage. I missed the notification, but it is basically all of this, and this has been devastating. Absolutely devastating for Morax. Bricks in the base and his energy. Oh dear. He has no E left. All his pigeons are gone, and Morax is like, what the fuck happened to my gunships? Well, anti-air happened to your gunships. You had a bunch of them and they got picked off slowly, one by just the one bouncer. This hero guy right there. That was the last one to die. And now there is... oh, nothing. His base is in tatters. His eco is shot due to the massive eco energy that he's trying to use. He's not building anything. He's trying to get something out of these things. But there's not going to be a lot left. His T3 HQ is going to go down here. Nothing to slow it. He's got his commander coming in who can do... well, it's not a gun com. So really, it's going to take a long time to get through this brick. And I'm not sure he can. That brick is full of bets. It's going to take a very long time to kill it. Decides to go for the reclaim instead, and hey, why not? That's actually going to be faster than trying to shoot it. Look at the health go down there. He is a T2 com, and that's going to be disruptive, but now there's 2 bricks left still, and a commander that is going to have a bad time getting in charge of them. Even as this is all going on, Morax is trying to push up with these units, trying to get something done on that front, but it is up here that the problem lies. What's happened to his strats? Did he have some strats? Maybe they died? Maybe they did die indeed. Perhaps he could have thought about bringing some units back with that transport. But as it is now, he is boldly and forthright. They're walking up to those bricks with his comm. Nothing left of the center base. And I'm sure there'll be a reclaim order in a second. There it is. But he's not going to make it. And he says, this is what I get for being nice and not sniping. He gets a kaboom.